Your grandfather was 9% linoleic acid in his fat. You're at 21%. I cut my own back in 90 days. Here's how. I rode 22 hours a week on the New Zealand elite team. At 92 kilos, my skin folds were lower than the under 70 kilogram lightweights. Still pre-diabetic, still in metabolic torpor, but the government nutritionists at Rowan, New Zealand told us a calorie is a calorie, and to eat McDonald's after Saturday training. Now I train 6 hours a week, not 22, compete in Hyrox Pro, eat 5,000 calories a day, and don't gain any weight. I've helped a paying client and friends and family do the same. So here's the protocol. What I had wrong then is what most people still have wrong now. It's not sloth, it's not gluttony, it's not lack of discipline. Americans in 1939 ate 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day. They took the subway, they used the elevator, they drove cabs, they weren't running marathons, and they weren't fat. You eat about 2,500 calories a day. You are. The variable that changed isn't your willpower, it isn't your gym attendance, it's the composition of the fat you've stored, which is the substrate your mitochondria burn for energy. In 1959, the average American carried fat that was about 9% linoleic acid. By 2008, that more than doubled to 21%, 136% increase. Peer-reviewed primary source. Your fat composition now matches the profile of a mammal stocking up to enter winter hibernation. When your body burns this fat, it produces a fraction of the energy signal it should. Modern Americans run at about 36.6 degrees Celsius. Healthy is 37. Half a degree is a measurable hit to your basal metabolic rate. Your lower metabolic rate, lower satiation, higher hunger, higher fat storage, that's metabolic hibernation. And like a bear in spring, you can exit. Animals exit hibernation every spring on diet alone and a little bit of movement. Not pharmaceuticals, not willpower, a change in the food going in. So can you. Here are the 3 steps that got me out in 90 days. Step 1. Cut the seed oils. Sunflower, soybean, canola, corn, rice bran, grapeseed, vegetable oil, anything with vegetable or industrial in the name. Here is why. Linoleic acid, the dominant fat in these oils, stores in your fat cells with a half century of nearly 2 years. So the seed oils you ate at university are still sitting in your tissue right now, still being burned for energy, still messing with the signal. When your body burns polyunsaturated fat, your mitochondria produce a fraction of the energy signal that saturated fat produces. The signal, called reactive oxygen species, or ROS, does 3 things. It fires the satiation signal in your brain, it turns on heat burning in your fat cells, and it tells your fat cells to release fuel instead of storing more. PUFA breaks all 3. One more thing before we move on. Seed oils don't just store as fat and scramble your metabolic signals. They also drive systemic inflammation, tied to most of the modern chronic diseases people are dealing with. That's a separate video. Today we're focused on the metabolic switch, but file that away. So read every label. If it has seed oils, don't eat it. Cook in butter, beef tallow, or coconut oil. Avoid restaurant fried food. Every restaurant fryer in the world basically is full of seed oils. Don't replace one packaged food with another packaged food. Replace packaged food with meat and butter and fruit. A paying client of mine started week 1 with just this step, plus eating more red meat. He didn't change his exercise. He lost 5 kilos in 7 days. Most of that isn't fat, it's water and gut inflammation, but that's the signal. The instant your substrate changes, your body knows. That's substrate. Now, the signal. Step 2. Eat for the satiation signal. Red meat at the center of every meal. Beef, lamb, eggs, raw dairy if you tolerate it. Here's why this works. Saturated fat, the kind in beef and butter and tallow, produces strong ROS, reactive oxygen species, when your mitochondria burn it. That ROS fires the satiation signal in your brain. Your appetite shuts down naturally because the molecular signal your hypothalamus is waiting for finally arrives. In a 2007 rat study, fat infusion alone cut food intake by 55%, but the same fat infusion with an antioxidant returned the rats to baseline eating. The antioxidant abolished the satiation signal. The mechanism is real. You are not lacking willpower at the dinner table. You're missing the molecular signal that tells you to stop. So don't count calories. Don't weigh portions. Eat red meat to satiety. You'll know you've had enough because you won't want any more. That's what proper satiation feels like. Most people haven't felt it in years. I eat 5,000 calories a day at this body weight. I don't gain, I don't measure, because when the substrate is right and the signal is firing, your body knows what to do with the calories. That's what a calorie is a calorie misses. The same calorie from butter and the same calorie from soybean oil do completely different things inside the cell. Substrate fixed, signal restored, now the stimulus. Step 3. Train short and hard. Set a 45-minute timer. Here's why. Long, slow grinding training does not flip the metabolic switch. I trained 22 hours a week for years and stayed in torpor. The hours weren't the problem. The intensity profile was. What actually shifts the substrate burn rate is short, hard, repeated demand. Heart rate up, heavy breathing, forced fat oxidation. That demand triggers mitohormesis, short bursts of stress that signal your cells to upgrade, better mitochondria, stronger antioxidant defenses, better insulin sensitivity. The key word is transient. Short pulses build the system. Chronic stress breaks it. So set a 45-minute timer. When it hits 0, you stop. You want your heart rate up, heavy breathing, and ideally sweating. Whatever sport you have, run, row, lift, Hyrox, train it sport specific. Don't do random gym work just to feel busy. 6 days a week, 1 rest day. Less time, better result, because the inputs are right. I cut my training from 22 hours a week to 6 and got faster. That's not a hack. That's not a shortcut. That's what happens when you stop grinding the wrong demand and start signaling the right one. And here's the unifier. Step 2 and step 3 run on the same mechanism. Saturated fat in your meals produce the same mitochondrial signal that hard training does. You're stacking 2 doses of the same signal, meal by meal, and training session by training session. Substrate, signal, stimulus. 3 steps. But there's one more thing, and it's where most people lose this. Most people don't make it this far in the video. If you did, here's what nobody talks about. This isn't a 90-day fix you do once. The 90-day proves it works for you. The next 22 months is when your fat composition actually normalizes. That's the half-life of linoleic acid stored in your body. Peer-reviewed. So pick a substrate you can hold forever. Don't grind through a 90-day diet, hit a number, and quit. The whole point is you stop hibernating and stay out. 3 habits I run every single day. Animal protein within an hour of waking, eggs and red meat. No seed oils ever. I read every label. Hard training under 45 minutes, 6 days a week. That's the protocol. Substrate, signal, stimulus, held permanently. If you want me to coach you through this directly, DM me on Instagram. The link's below. I'll put it up here. And we'll start there. I work with a small number of clients each month and document every protocol with them. Animals exit hibernation every spring on diet alone and a little bit of movement. So can you. Tomorrow morning, red meat at breakfast, no seed oils in your kitchen, 45 minutes of hard training. That's day 1 of 90.